After the media lied about Trump, Newt Gingrich went on TV and leaked their worst nightmare. President Trump's Middle East trip over the past couple of days has been a huge success, so the media is trying to distract everyone. They continue to spread conspiracy theories about Trump and Russia. Well, Newt Gingrich has had enough. He just went on live TV and exposed the media's worst nightmare. Newt said that while the media continues to witch hunt about Trump and Russia, they are ignoring Hillary's selling 20% of America's uranium to Russia. He also raises questions about the murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich, who reportedly leaked 44,000 documents to WikiLeaks. He asks why this apparent assassination is not being investigated.
Speaker, what do you think of this trip so far, and what do you hope to hear in just a few moments?
Well, first of all, the most important single statement was Egyptian President al-Sisi, who said Donald Trump is a unique man. He achieves the impossible, and I think that's a remarkable comment which I hope the American news media will take seriously and think long and hard about. The combination of the Saudis and the Americans bringing together virtually every leader in the Arab world for this summit, and the speech that I know the President will give in the very near future, I've seen parts of it. It is historic and remarkable, and I think that it sets the stage for us to decisively defeat radical Islam and do so in alliance with the moderate Islamists who are going to be gathered at this particular event. So finally, of course, if you're the President and you're worried about jobs, the various contracts they're signing are extraordinary steps towards helping the American economy keep growing.
Right, that underlines this entire speech, this entire trip, but that is the business interests of this region, of course. I want to get your take on this. You mentioned some of the excerpts of the speech that you've been reading, that we've been playing and talking about this morning. Here, confronting radical Islam is one of the excerpts from that speech that Mr. Trump is going to present in just a few minutes, and it reads this way. That means honestly confronting the crisis of Islamist extremism and the Islamist terror groups it inspires. And it means standing together against the murder of innocent Muslims, the oppression of women, the persecution of Jews, and the slaughter of Christians. How will that be received, Mr. Speaker?
Well, I think it's going to be received pretty well, because finally, after years of talking with them, the major leaders in the region understand that these radicals are a direct threat to them. I mean, the Saudis aren't just acting out of the goodness of their heart, they're acting to survive, because they have a two-front war. They have radical Islamists on the one front who would like to overthrow the regime, and they have Iran on the other front who would like to occupy the country. And so they have been forced by reality into becoming our allies. And let me note, by the way, because I already watched one of the other networks trying desperately to draw a gap between what Trump said as a candidate and what Trump is saying here. This is a very strong, very direct speech being given right there in the face of all of these major leaders. He pulls no punches. He talks about persecuting Jews, persecuting Christians. He talks about women's rights. And he uses the word Islamist, which is technically the right word, because it refers to the political movement, not the religion. But it's, you compare this speech to Obama in Cairo, and you'll see the difference between appeasement and cowardice on the one hand with Obama, and a clear, direct statement of what we need to do on the part of the President.
Speaker, what do you think of this?
I'm going to add the other clip where he's stating, because this clip didn't have it. So take a look at the clip.
Mr. Speaker, we had a guest on our show earlier today who said, maybe because of all this confusion that you talked about, these, supporters are confused, we don't know what to believe, sources coming out of this, is it true, is it not, are people actually leaving this White House, is there confusion that this Robert Mueller investigation will in fact finally shed some light on the truth? Do you buy that argument?
I don't know. I think it depends in part on how Mueller defines his investigation. People talk about, was there influence from Russia? Well, does that mean they're going to look at the $500,000 paid to Bill Clinton? Does that mean they're going to look at the uranium deal that gave Russia 20% of the uranium while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State? Let's go down the list here. At the same time, we have this very strange story now of this young man who worked for the Democratic National Committee who apparently was assassinated at 4 in the morning, having given WikiLeaks something like 53,000 emails and 17,000 attachments. Nobody's investigating that. And what does that tell you about what was going on? Because it turns out it wasn't the Russians. It was this young guy who I suspect was disgusted by the corruption of the Democratic National Committee. He's been killed, and apparently nothing serious has been done to investigate his murder. So I'd like to see how Mueller is going to define what his assignment is. And if it's only narrowly Trump, the country will not learn what it needs to learn about foreign involvement in American politics.
All right.